I know a lot of people wanted a brand new sweeping story, but I think it's pretty clear that that's not their goal with Tears of the Kingdom. That might not be the case, and we just have to accept that for now. So, I feel a little stupid. The new trailer for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom just came out, and I feel like I have to apologize now. I'm sorry, I was very wrong about this game. It's not like I wasn't excited, but I guess part of me just underestimated how different this game would actually be from Breath of the Wild. I mean, you can't entirely blame me, the trailers weren't exactly showing anything huge. Yeah, we got a lot of new features like the merging mechanic, but for me, it wasn't enough to get me as excited as I was when they first showed off Breath of the Wild. I think my biggest concern was that exploring the same world again wouldn't feel fresh like it did the first time. Diving into a seemingly limitless Hyrule was magical back in 2017, and I was worried that revisiting the same map again would ruin some of that magic. Before this new trailer got announced, I was actually working on a predictions video on the game, and it seems a little silly to post that now when clearly all of my predictions were wrong, so I thought I would make fun of myself a bit and go over how wrong I actually was. I hope you enjoy me looking like an idiot. Right off the bat, that's just blatantly false. Since the very first announcement that Breath of the Wild was getting a sequel, a bunch of people were saying how they wanted underground areas. Of course, it's fun to explore the surface of Hyrule, but one big thing that was missing from the previous game was the atmospheric caves from classic Zelda. Now, I honestly thought that this was just wishful thinking and Tears of the Kingdom would be a lot more focused on the sky islands than the surface, but clearly that's not the case. This is actually really exciting for what it could mean to explore the world again. Think about it, you'll probably need to find the mouths of these caves all across Hyrule, which is a whole reason in itself to see this map again. One of my favorite parts about Breath of the Wild was this small underground ruins area where you find the classic green tunic. And the fact that we could be seeing more stuff like this is really exciting. I didn't mention this before, but I am still hopeful that just as much attention has been given to the sky islands as the ground areas. This trailer pretty much confirmed that there are much more sky islands than we thought, so I'm really excited to see what they do with those and how they affect the story. Speaking of story, I think that one of the biggest complaints from Breath of the Wild was that it felt like it was missing an epic storyline like the previous games. I felt like the story was kind of an afterthought, which makes sense because it works for the kind of game Breath of the Wild is. I'm sure it's not easy to make a game with a storyline that's really deep while also giving the player a ton of freedom. Regardless though, I was a little disappointed about the fact that there wasn't a huge emotional driving force to playing the game. For example, in Wind Waker, you're on a journey to save your sister, and it always felt like the most urgent thing on your list, to reunite with her. In Twilight Princess, the whole world is falling apart in front of you, and the goal is to make some real change to get things back to the way they were. For me, there was always an urgency and excitement to Zelda, and it kept you on the edge of your seat to find out what would happen next. That sort of thing felt missing from Breath of the Wild, and because Zelda was heading in a new direction with its free-form storytelling, I didn't think Tears of the Kingdom would go back to the way things were. Well, I definitely feel wrong about that too, because if this trailer says anything, it's that this game has a worthy story it wants to tell. Obviously, there's no way of really knowing until the game drops next month, but there were so many interesting moments, like seeing characters from the previous game returning. There's a new villain that looks really cool, and I love the way that the whole world and the people within it have evolved. Ganondorf is back, like actual real Ganondorf, which is very exciting. So again, no way of knowing just yet, but I think it's safe to say I was wrong about this one too. Alright, it's debatable if I was wrong about this one or not. We can't definitively say just yet, but I did change my mind about this prediction. Man, I clearly really suck at these. Zelda dungeons have always been the highlight of the series in my opinion. I'm really big into puzzle games, so I didn't even mind the Divine Beasts. What was missing in my opinion from Breath of the Wild was the uniqueness and the atmosphere in these dungeons. For example, in Ocarina of Time, you have the creepy vibes of the Forest Temple, which is contrasted by the beautiful and elegant vibes of the Water Temple. In Breath of the Wild, it seemed like everything was exactly the same. The music was even the same every time, and it made Divine Beasts feel a bit boring compared to the original. However, I do think that this trailer has confirmed that there will be dungeons again, especially with the fact that underground exploration is confirmed. With all this new info, it's really starting to make sense why this game took so long to make. Now, I consider myself wrong on this because while they were hiding something big, it's a lot bigger than I thought. We saw even more new mechanics for Link to use, we saw how different the villages are now, there looked to be some sort of escort mission where Link is carrying villagers in a wagon, they showed off a bunch of new bosses that looked really cool, and there's also the possibility of companion characters like Sidon who could travel with you on your quests. I didn't write this in my predictions, but I honestly didn't think we'd be getting a ton of new music in the game either, or more specifically, classic Zelda melodies. Breath of the Wild has an awesome atmospheric soundtrack, but the songs weren't exactly catchy, if you know what I mean. I'm really glad that it seems like we're getting more memorable music, and the songs that played in the trailer were very nostalgic. There was just so much more revealed in this trailer, and it feels kind of crazy that it took this long. We've had a bunch of trailers at this point, and somehow this feels like the first time they're actually showing something that sets this game apart. I know Nintendo likes to keep things a secret till the game comes out, but do you remember that one Breath of the Wild trailer back in 2017 that completely blew people away? You should know what trailer I'm talking about. I think that was honestly the best trailer I've ever seen from any game, and honestly, this new Tears of the Kingdom trailer might have topped it, which is why I think it's a bit strange they waited a month before the game drops to show it, but I'm glad they did because I'm a lot more excited now. Anyways, I'm sorry for being a doubter. I'm really hyped for this game, and it seems like it'll be well worth the wait. If you forgive me, consider subscribing to my channel. I post game reviews every week, and I'll definitely be talking about Tears of the Kingdom some more. Anyways, bye-bye, have a good one guys, see you later.